they present. I mean, and the way that they rap is really kind of from a Southern gangster perspective. So it was kind of difficult for me to really listen.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. We're going 35 W.
Well, this.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah.
This is saying to go this way. I don't know.
Okay, it's taking you to 94 East.
Yeah, so
okay.
Somebody was saying like you gotta go just out towards Sunray first to go the fastest. I don't know.
All right, maybe
just follow this.
Yeah.
I guess.
If you want me to, I can look it up on my phone. I use Waze.
Waze.
Yeah, it's the what it is. It's a kind of a group source mapping. It's what the Lyft drivers use.
Really?
And it kind of gets updated by people, and also it tracks traffic, and it's really good for getting around when you have to when you don't know if there's going to be a Black Lives Matter protest. Right. So I use it where I think you won before, yeah. So I use it even when I'm going to places where I know, because I've been almost late to gigs because of traffic.
Very cool. Crowdsourced mapping, huh?
Yeah. Plus, it's well designed and has a lot of safety features in mind. And you can have it even give you little reminders when you get out of your car. Find where you parked your car.
That's handy. So what do you when you say gigs? I mean, what's your
like as a stagehand, a union stagehand around town, and also perform and do shows, do stand-up comedy, improv. And a thing last month called vilification tennis, which is like tennis, but you toss insults back and forth. So starts off with 4 preliminaries. Your mama joke,
so it's improv, but it's also somewhat scripted. I mean,
yeah. There's different games within it, but the game of vilification tennis itself is 2 insulters on each side, and they just toss insults back and forth, and then every now and then somebody scores a point.
Nice. I took a improv class last semester. I kind of added theater to my major.
Smart move.
Second major, I was philosophy major, and then added the theater because that's what I wanted to do as a kid. I wanted to act. And as a 6-year-old, that was the first thing I decided this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And then something kind of took playwriting, and I was like, right, this was something you wanted to do. This was like a kid dream, And I was like, you kind of got lost there for the last 30 years, but hey, I'm back, you know?
Yeah.
And, won the playwriting award at the school, and they produced the play, and it was like, a $15,000 production at Metro. So it was kind of like, I was like, okay, maybe like actually something more substantial to contribute than acting chops is like, writing. And then last semester was, improv is one of the courses offered, and I was like, let's do this, improv for everyone. Jim Robinson, I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Name sounds familiar, but I can't quite place it.
Theater of Public Policy is one of the things he does. Bryant Lake Bowl.
Yeah. That's actually Bryant Lake Bowl Theater is where I did the vilification tennis show at. They have a monthly show there.
Yeah, I mean, and I really dig it. I thought this is really. I mean, there's people who had anxiety issues in the class, and they, by the end of it, were like doing some of the best improv work.
Well,
it's very, very cathartic.
Therapeutic.
Yeah.
It gets you to think about things, so it helps you, and it also trains you to think quickly. So
and stay in the moment.
And be conscious of yourself from the outside. It's a very kind of Gurdjieff, the fourth way
Yes.
kind of technique and tool set.
Yeah, it's for people who like to think a lot and be thinkers and be really chewing on stuff in their head all the time. It's very therapeutic. You really gotta kind of toss that out. I mean,
well, and you got to produce.
Right.
You know, that's one of the big things that I've been working on with one of my Cult of the Monks, the Way of Lo-Fi, which is a martial art approach of wabi-sabi do easy, which is wabi-sabi do easy is a combination of wabi-sabi, the Japanese Zen appreciation of imperfection, the idea that the one chipped cup is more interesting than the 500 perfect ones. And do easy was a William S. Burroughs occult method of figuring out the most simple and efficient way to make a repeated task happen. So let's say you had the same breakfast every morning. You would figure out the most efficient way for that breakfast to be created, consumed, and cleaned. That way when it occurs in the morning, you don't have to think about it. You know that it's happening in the most efficient way, leaving your mind to be occupied with higher thoughts. So kind of a combination of the appreciation of imperfection and figuring out the efficient ways of doing things, but not worrying too much about it, leads for the mind to be occupied by higher thoughts. Now, last July we had the Way of Lo-Fi, which is a kind of martial arts approach to the artistic endeavor, and its main point is the term resolution, and resolution has many forms. One, it's the physical resolution of a picture, pixel count. Resolution is also the moment that art impacts its audience, and what you do is you kind of use the metaphor of Bruce Lee's one-inch punch. What you do is you design for that moment to have maximum impact, and one of the ways you can have maximum impact is to use what's there and at hand. And what's there and at hand is your audience. So if you can figure out ways of triggering things that are already in your audience, you can have maximum impact with a minimum of effort. And a big part of the Way of Lo-Fi is to always be creating. So you don't have to worry about things being perfect. In fact, if you can do it without editing and just continue to move forward, but just be producing as you go along, I liken it to combo moves in Mortal Kombat. It just starts becoming more exponential ability to produce, and then you learn as you go along, so that your things get better, but you're constantly producing as you're going up, and you're also showing your work.
And that sounds like, that's a really good philosophy for any kind of writer, any kind of musician, because as somebody, the whole concept of an album is never done, or a song is never done. But I think
it's such an easy trap.
But I think really the point of that phrase, what you're supposed to take away, and this is probably lost most of the time, is that you're supposed to take away that what you're saying. You do it, you get it to a good place, and you move on. Where I think the tendency is to keep working that, and often working that into the ground. I mean, working it to a point where it's not
viable anymore.
It's not what you had originally was much more.
Well, with when I use like the 360 cameras and the such, you don't do any editing on it because it would be like weird teleportation. But if somebody in the future wants to go and edit it, then they can, and they have all the same raw material at the beginning, and they can add whatever they goddamn well please, Just because I have released something doesn't mean I'm done with it. To be honest, probably I won't have time for myself to get to it. But if somebody else in the world wants to have a go at it, have a go at it. You know.
Right. Yeah, I like that because I feel like the people who are prolific and really people who are the most prolific. There's no possible way that with the amount of work they produce in their lifetime that they are really concerned with polish.
Tokyo 23, Hail Airs. Sorry, I'm cute to the number. I'm just cute to the number 23. It's a classic Discordian thing where Discordians will put 23s in media things, and whenever you see one, you don't know if it was an accident or on purpose. But usually, at this state, Discordians have permeated the media industry that 23s on screens are not by accident.
Your favorite prime number?
Yep, yeah, it's actually repeatedly tattooed on my body.
Is it?
Yeah, on this arm I have 23 symbols with a binary code of 23, received my 23rd birthday on October 23rd.
Nice.
Yeah, I only get tattoos on my birthday. Also, I start a new religion on the 23rd of every month with Cult of the Month. I benefit corporations, religious subscription service. Cult of the Month, where you belong.
So this is before the movie came out, I take it.
Oh well, actually, the movie. The movie. Actually, you know what? The movie's it's a crap movie.
It is. Isn't
Yeah. It's Joel Schumacher. It's the same guy that gave Batman nipples. Yeah. Joel Schumacher has done a couple good films. This the number 23 is not one of them. I got turned on to the number 23 by Robert Anton Wilson, who wrote the Illumination trilogy with Robert Shea, and he was turned on to it by William S. Burroughs, who became aware of it. And it's one of those things that it's also it's a programming technique for others, because now that I've talked about the 23 Enigma, you're going to start seeing 23s a lot more, and then it's similar to like getting a new car. You realize exactly how many of that car are out on the road because you're aware of it.
Right.
So you'll see all the 23s, and with them being in movies and TV and books and such, it's a sly nod and a wink. I think currently one of my Twitter handles is something Hyperpope the 23rd or something. Since Cult of the Month all have 3 tenets that they share. 1, they pay their taxes. 2, we don't have dogmas, we have kapmas, which are relative meta beliefs that allow you to pick and choose what you want.
Okay.
Because you're going to do it anyway, might as well do it consciously.
Right.
And we also suggest changing them up a lot. And our third tenet is our radical inclusion of original membership, or OM, which is the idea that every sentient observant being in the multiverses, both real and imagined, is already a member of Cult of the Month. So whenever we enroll all our members into a new religion, that religion technically becomes the largest in the multiverse.
Interesting.
If you're gonna make shit up,
Do it big.
Yeah. Go big, go home. So this month's Cult of the Month is CanCanDo, which is a further philosophy in the way of lo-fi. And what it is, it's a concentration on the art of bringing ideas to manifest in a way that you could share it with others.
I like that.
A big part of its ethos is the idea that knowledge without action is as useless as no knowledge at all. So if you can spread the knowledge, you can have an exponential positive effect. So, which is why I want to start doing things like recording the repairing of pinball machines. You know, that's something that me and a lot of people would just kind of like to know, and maybe we could figure out what the hell we're doing.
You and me both, brother. I mean, I'm definitely on that track. I want to soak up all the repair knowledge. I mean, I know a fair amount. I know enough to fix a lot of things.
Dude.
However, when it comes down to board work, you know, troubleshooting, that's a huge one.